SandMan, Western society. I have a feeling I'm already going to get a little testy about this one. A little testy about this one. Yes, Western society, and then it's a clown emoji. Western society clowns.
This planet has been a home to all kinds of wild creatures, from the dinosaurs with small baby hands to the confusing and ugly platypus, but at no point in history has anyone seen a creature more evil and hideous than a white man. This race is responsible for the most...
I wouldn't say white man. I would say white woman. If I'm to be honest, I'd say white woman. Like, there is something genetically superior that, or they feel genetically superior, that they start talking down. Like, the whole white guilt trend, because men aren't as emotional as women are. So women want to take on the empathy of others, take on the sorrows of others, that, like, the whole body positive movement was for Muslim women who were burned, whose face were burned because they wanted to take off their hijab. That's what the body positivity movement started, because of Muslim women who wanted to feel confident in their scarred faces. And then it gets co-opted by fat white women who want to feel positive about their obeseness. It ends up being stolen. They just want to find the next thing to steal. So in the end, it's primarily white women. It's primarily white women. It's just a fact. And beta men who have no real guiding compass except seeing a woman and being like, oh, she's doing that, I'll follow her.
Number of deaths in human history. The blood that runs through their veins is of thieves, crooks, and murderers. It's like wherever they go, they bring death, destruction, hypocrisy, and cuckery. You see, before the era of internet, anyone living outside of the Western countries would think these places are some kind of heaven, and there is nothing wrong with these countries and their people. Even if someone would visit these Western countries and see something weird going on, like people shitting on the New York metro, they would never share these.
Nope, that's exactly, it's just disgusting. It is disgusting. But the thing is, now they have criminals who were incarcerated, or not incarcerated, they were arrested 70 times, 14 times, 13 times, like very different criminals. And then they finally get put in prison when one, I think on the bus, one was lit on fire. On the subway, one lady was stabbed in the neck. And I think another one happened. These people had been in jail multiple times, but they were never sent into prison until they finally ended up committing a violent crime. It's like they stopped arresting these people. People need to start being charged with their criminal acts. They just have to be. If you break the law, you've broken the law, and you deserve to serve time.
Things when they go back to their home country. But since internet is easily available to anyone around the globe now, it's not hard to look through the mask that these guys have been wearing for hundreds of years. And since time is money, so let's just cut to the chase and see the real Western society. There's a common saying in the Western society, if you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually believe it. And after some time, you will be...
Yep, that is absolutely true. Like, I was in college, and I started saying I basically had it on my... I even had it on my MySpace. That's how long ago I had it, and I was a kid then. Everything you hear about me is 100% true from a certain point of view. Because if someone hates me and tells someone a lie who knows nothing about me, well, who are they going to trust? The person they've never heard from before, or the person who told them the lie? It's that simple. That's how the news medias work. You go to one source for your news, that you refuse to see another side, that you only believe the lie. You never bother to do the research yourself. And that's the thing. I've always seen that from when I was a kid. I understood that. I was a kid, but my mother was in law enforcement. And you kind of see that when you grow up in that kind of environment. You realize that not everything is 100% true what you believe.
Believe it too. These guys use these strategies to always come up as a good or a superior race. Starting off with the skin color, these guys have been successful in manipulating the whole world that having a white and fair skin is more attractive than any other skin color. But in reality, if an average white guy is compared with a pig side by side, the pig would have better facial features and a better...
Amen. Amen. You don't want to be compared to a freaking pig. Yeah. This is a joke. I like how at the beginning of this one he put like rage bait warning. Is it makes sense. It makes sense. It's the majority of his channel is trolling. Like, that's what I've come to realize. Like, he'll spread facts but troll the majority of the time. And it's like, so it's hard to take him seriously. Like if he just spread facts and didn't troll, I don't think he'd be as popular. It's one of those things. It's a weird middle ground.
Better hairline than this abomination. And since I'm not a racist, here's a picture of a black handsome pig that
Want to be white. Yeah. 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 Well, heck, I remember when I was in India the first time, they wanted to take a picture with me, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I mean, racism exists. That there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. There are people who just think something looks better than others. Me, I've always been of the mind, because my father's Hispanic, my mother's white, and I just say white because that's German, European, whatever, French, whatever. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I've always believed like races should mix. I never wanted a white person and I never wanted a Hispanic. I'm already that mix. I got myself an Indian woman. Yeah. But that's the thing. I've always believed like the future of the world is, well, the South Park episode where the future comes to the past asking for help to save the future, and the people all look the same and their skin color is orange because thousands of years in the future every single race has intermingled, and I guess they all look like Trump now. It was just funny. I'm like, yes, that just makes sense. That just makes sense. We shouldn't have barriers separating people because of borders. I've always viewed borders as to which neighborhood would you rather live in. That's how I like to view the world. If you don't feel like one nation suits you, go to a nation that you would feel more comfortable in. It's that simple. Yes, it's difficult to uproot and move. That is incredibly difficult. But at the same time, it's just like you have to view the world kind of that way. And do you want to live in a gated community or the rural farm community? All that kind of stuff. Oh, what? There's an episode on South Park where the future comes to ask for help. And it's basically about them asking for help causes the disastrous, whatever, the troubled future.
I got from Reddit. Even though I believe that all skin colors should be respected, I cannot deny the fact that nature prefers one skin color more than the other. But these guys never give up. They always try to find a way to somehow show that they are better than the others. Whenever these cucks talk about any country...
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I am amazing. I am absolutely amazing. That's just a fact. That is just a fact, and I am not gonna have anyone tell me otherwise, because you can't. You can't. Facts are facts. As some Piker would say, facts are facts.
that is not white. What these guys try to do is they'll pick up the worst thing they could find in those countries and try to compare it with the best these guys have. Let's talk about looks for an example. Whenever a white guy tries to compare his ethnicity with, let's say, Indians, what he's going to do is he's going to search an image of a model in America and will try to compare it with the most ugliest Indian he could find on the internet according to his beauty standards, and will act like, see, we are so better looking, man, without understanding the fact.
No, I'd pull up a picture of SRK. Like, what was that music video he did? And he had his shirt open. I think the people were telling me the majority of it is CGI, but I was just looking at his 8-pack. Like, he literally had an 8-pack in that video. And it's just like, oh my gosh, he was 40 at that time. Probably early 50s, late 40s. And I'm just like, oh my freaking gosh, I need to get to work. But I know I'm an attractive man. I know I am an attractive man. Self-confidence. Self-confidence is key in life.
That the same thing can be done to these guys as well. A random white guy sitting in his mom's basement might claim that he has some kind of elite genetics because his ancestors have been taking a high-protein, non-vegetarian diet. But whenever any kind of disease arrives...
The liver king. Yeah, he went bankrupt.
These guys fall like dominoes, and all their elite genetics go to the nearby silver line. And not to forget, a white man's hairline recedes faster than his credit card balance. So much for the elite genetics, right?
Yep.
And let's not talk about the health issues that these guys are facing. These guys would love to point out that Indians are skinny fat while completely ignoring the fact that their own obese stepfather...
Yep. It's funny. I know someone like this, and he lives off the system. We need to remove people like this who get paid by the government. To live like this. because they're unhealthy. They can't move around, and they are paid. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Roshan is in his 50s and has an 8-pack. Yeah. I mean, I've liked him since Look. Actually, I think it was before. I can't remember the first movie I saw with him in. It was Look I saw later because everyone was recommending it.
Other could die anytime
Not
if he
Look.
sneezes the wrong way.
Loka? Lakshya, yeah.
You see, on paper, the white race is a very good and productive race when compared with other ethnicities, or they are very good at faking
Well, let's go back to yeah, okay. Test scores for the standardized computer science test. China, India, Russia, USA. There's no way. There is no way. There's... Okay, probably the tests, the standardized tests, are in English around the world. They're probably in English.
productive race when compared with other ethnicities, or they are very good at faking statistics. A white guy was claiming that an American has an average IQ of 99 and Indians have very low IQ, which is around 75 something. So technically an average American is much more smarter than an average Indian.
Thank you. Wrong. I can't do a Trump voice. But yeah, they're absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. Yeah, some people are just absolutely retarded. Some people are just genetically retarded. And especially those who rely more on emotion than anything else. They just end up... You can easily become stupid when you let emotions guide you because you no longer follow like facts or any kind of logical argument or not anything like that.
Might be true, but it makes me wonder, if Americans are so smart, how are illiterate Indians with a 75 IQ working on a third-class scam call center easily able to scam these guys of millions of dollars? This is kind of a weird flex that Indians can't use, because what are these guys supposed to say? Oh, we easily scam you, your 99 IQ can suck my dick, yeah, ooh. Maybe
It's funny because yeah, they call in scam, and like the sad thing is like the majority who get scammed are the elderly. Like I've had to stop my father from getting scammed a few times because he doesn't know. He doesn't know. He'll get an email telling him that his email is about to be shut down, and he gets all worried. He gets an email about his balance about to be overdrafted. He doesn't pay for anything. He doesn't do any of that. He does nothing, and he's scared. It's just but he doesn't know. He doesn't know that there are sinister... Like, at a certain point, you start thinking better of humanity, and then they become easier targets like that.
IQ is not IQing in the real world, right? And similarly for other studies as well. Like these guys claim that they are better in computer programming and all other stuff, but they're also practically these guys are doing almost as same as the other ethnicities. Like Indians being 1% in America are 23% in Silicon Valley, and these guys are just 33%. I don't know what kind of studies these guys are doing, or maybe the questions that these guys get in their exams are like ooga booga questions, where you just need to point out who your real father is, and you get 99 IQ. But these things do not.
So the college, the standard education here in the U.S., all of it is absolute garbage. All of it is absolute garbage. There's this documentary called Looking for Superman, and it's about and this was done like 20 years ago. It's about how bad the U.S. is in its education system, because the education system was designed back in the was it the early 1900s or before? But I know it was like J.D. Rockefeller, who wanted people to work in his factories. That's basically what it was. The richest person on planet Earth at the time wanted factory workers. So they would create a school, a public education system that would allow kids to be away from the home, to give the parents some time, the father to be able to go to work, and just teach them the basics, the absolute basics. That's why when kids, even now, when they leave even high school, when they leave college, they don't know what compounding interest is. They don't know what a credit score is. They don't even know the concept of debt, the majority of them, because they've just never learned it. It's not something that's taught because it's kept away from them, because the best way for a rich person to stay rich is to keep the poor people poor and constantly paying them. That's why banks that's why you have to rely on a credit score. I don't have a credit score. I've never had a credit card, and I've never had anything to actually, because I've hated the idea. I've absolutely hated the idea. But I'll never be able to buy a house because I don't have a credit score. So I'd have to get a credit card in order to buy a house or get an apartment. Or it's just like, it's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Do you know news in South? Yeah. But it's crazy. It's crazy.
Or translate to real life. One more thing that I've noticed is there's this new thing within Americans or the whites where they claim that Indians are not out competing them because Indians are more skilled than these guys, but actually because Indians are cheap laborers. This argument seems funny because when I check the median household income in America, Indian households were earning way more than an American household. And in per capita income as well, Indians were ahead of the white Americans. So if these guys are cheap laborers, then how are they earning more than their white counterparts? Doesn't make
Because they're sending it back home. It goes further.
Makes sense, right? And if the cheap labor theory is correct, then why are Indians able to climb the corporate ladder and reach important positions? They could be at the bottom working for peanuts, right? But no, a white man would rather watch his wife have sex with a black man. Actually, he would love to watch that, instead of agreeing that he and his own community needs to work harder to stay relevant in this competitive market. These guys will claim that they are not incompetent but expensive, but actually they are incompetent and expensive. And their incompetence level is so high that these guys can be easily replaced by an illiterate, illegal immigrant or someone having a fake degree.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. It's all, in the end, again, it goes back to like why if companies want to pay the cheapest. They want to pay the cheapest. It's easier to get an H-1B visa person than to get a U.S. citizen for the role. And in the end, who's going to work harder for you? The one who's at risk of being kicked out of the country if they don't perform excellently, or the slave labor that you found who came in the country illegally? One gets deported, one gets sent home because he no longer and has to reapply for another visa. The American citizen has all these rights and regulations and unions and HR departments and everything on his side or her side or their side or its side, whatever the Western thing decides to identify as. But yeah, I mean, that's just the thing. That's just the thing. That's how I view it. So in the end, companies will always go for the cheaper dollar, which means they're more likely to outsource hires. So I understand his argument, but at the same time, you have to think of it from the company's standpoint. It would be cheaper. I mean, if I was to hire an editor, I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't hire an editor from the U.S. Let's just be honest. I could pay an editor in the U.S. a couple $100 when I'm making nothing, or I could hire an editor from like Mexico or India or Venezuela. Well, probably not Venezuela right now. That's very temperamental. But like Vietnam. And it'd be like, what, $10, $20, $30? I could pay a U.S. citizen a couple $100, or I could pay the $10s, $20s, $30. I think that would be better. But I don't have an editor.
But for
so.
getting a job in these countries, you don't need to have actual skills. You just have to attend the interview process and you'll get a job immediately. But unfortunately, the white guys are busy in drug addiction, gun violence, and watching child pornography. Talking about white man's lifestyle, these guys claim that their society and their culture is the best. So let's have a look what the best culture looks like. Someone once said that if you want to be the best version of yourself, you have to eat the best version of food you can find. So these guys hire OnlyFans models to provide...
What? Oh, I get it. I'm like, wait a minute, best version of food? Where would I go for the best, the best? I was like, oh, organic food, all clean, healthy living. Okay, that's for like building muscle and stuff. Yeah, OnlyFans stars offers, oh my gosh.
them premium quality shit that they can eat on daily basis. And not just shit, these OnlyFans models are providing them with premium quality urine and bath water so that they can remain as white as possible. And since we're talking about the food, the high protein diet that these guys eat is just sliced up animals with a pinch of salt. It's not even cooked properly. The food quality situation in...
Yeah, that's disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. Oh my gosh. Like, things need to be cooked. Things need to be cooked. I find that absolutely insane.
Their country is so bad that England, a country of whites, had to import their national dish from India. We'll talk about many other things.
It's funny because it's true. Like, England is known for like the worst food. You have to go to actual, well, not local places. Oh, it's disgusting.
That these whites have stolen from other countries and other cultures. But right now, let's talk about women and child safety. See, these guys claim that women and children are very much safe in their country, but the reality is, white men are their god's most rapiest soldiers. Taking United States of Cucks as an example, the population of US is almost 1/3 of India's population, but they have almost 5 times more rape cases than in India.
But the thing is like a lot of, again, I mentioned this last time, the majority of them are false positives. So there was what was it? I forgot what year, but the whole Me Too movement started, and it started gaining a ton of traction because there were a lot of cases that weren't, reported. But guess what? Some women who felt like they weren't getting what they wanted in life realized that they could use it. There were a few cops that were put in prison. There were a few husbands. There were a few people who were thrown in jail only to find out that the whole thing was made up later down the road. So it completely escalated. It completely escalated because they were just false positives. They were just saying, oh, they did this because they want to destroy the man's life because he said he didn't want to go on a date with her. So that's the thing. It's just like we've built a culture here where to accuse someone of it is encouraged instead of just, if something happens, say it. Like, that's why I believe, like, there should be other people that are involved and, like, tell someone to say something about things, because I'm completely against someone taking advantage of someone. And that goes both ways. That goes both ways, because during the whole Me Too movement, men weren't allowed to talk about their instances. Yeah.
And I know some Indian with inferiority complex will shout, no, in India, rape cases are not recorded properly. That's why the count is very low. Americans are better than us, sir. You are saying things wrong. Very wrong. So for their clarification, I've checked the national records and it mentions that almost 60% of rape cases are unreported in US. And let's assume India is very bad and we have like 9.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like, that's hard to believe, especially when we've built a culture of victimhood. A culture of victimhood. In the US, you get more points for playing the victim. Why wouldn't people call it out? That's the thing. So it's hard to believe that. It's absolutely hard to believe that.
90% cases unreported and US has
Yeah, and where in India it's 90% unreported to 10% reported. Yeah.
only 60% cases unreported. Then also US is way worse than India. And not to forget, their musical festivals are a hub of sexual assaults. In a survey, 92% girls reported that they have faced some kind of harassment. And this is just
Yep. That involves touching. That involves, because who the heck goes to a music festival to begin with? That's insane. That's absolutely insane. There's nothing but drugs and alcohol there. That's it. You end up with people touching everyone. You end up with people so brain dead that they're willing to do it. Yeah, it's you never go there. You never go there. If you're a civilized person, you don't go there. That's just the way it is. That's just a fact.
20th century, guys. In past centuries, these guys used to burn women alive when they refused to get raped and called it witch hunting. And these assaults are not limited to women and children only. As you know, majority of these guys are gays, so they equally assault men as well. And I was looking how dirty the Western society actually is, and one of my subscribers told me that from 1971 to 1979, child pornography was legal in their countries. So yeah, so much for the civilized society, right? And since we're talking about the...
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's always been, a criminal act. Yeah, I don't think that's an actual fact. I'm not going to bother looking that up because that'd be a weird thing to have on my search engine. I don't want the government to know I ever searched something like that. But yeah, that kind of thing has always been disgusting. There's a reason why a lot of Hollywood elites have tried to travel to Greece, because I think it's the youngest age in the world that's considered legal. Yeah, I think that's it.
civilized society. Let's have a look at some civilized Westerners.
Never go to New York. If this is anything, never go to New York. Never go to San Francisco. Never go to LA. Never go to any of the big cities in the US. They are filled with these so the mental asylums were closed due to, again, like the cases of doctors and nurses taking advantage of the mental patients. And then all of them were basically kicked out onto the streets. And then we have no place for these brain dead druggies to go to. No place for it's like you now have walking zombies. He was peeing. Yeah, this looks like a Golden Gate Park after the 420 day. I went there, like, because I lived in San Francisco for 4 years, and on 420 is like the smoking pothead festival of the world, like festival day, and the park was absolutely disgusting. And taxpayers have to pay for it, have to pay for the cleanup. Like, always the festivals, people are absolute slobs. But the funny thing is, this image could easily be India. Could easily be India. I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait, this isn't India. Yep. Homeless person washing. Yep, that's how it happens. Getting water. Oh, that is disgusting. Rogers Stadium. Yep. People drinking. It was like, just go to the freaking bathroom. Meanwhile, in New York City, yeah. Oh, so like in San Francisco, there's homeless poop all over the streets. There are syringes all over the streets. Like, you never go to the big city. You absolutely never go to the big city.
हाँ देख लो जी फिर कहते ने देसी माड़े ने गोरे सारे ज्यादा गंदे ने
Many people from India, or let's say from very poor country, believe that these Westerners have built their beautiful cities and beautiful infrastructure with hard work and dedication. But actually, all these countries are built on stolen money, and not just money and resources. These guys have stolen lands as well. Countries like Canada, USA, and New Zealand and Australia, these all belong to other ethnicities that were killed by these Rakshas, and now they.
Well, same thing with India. Like, that's the thing. He can't argue that India wasn't taking each other's neighborhoods, because even before the Britain came in and basically enslaved all of India, they were still attacking each other's borders. Like, you still have the Rajasthan, you still have the Sultan there, you still have other people who were royalty, the blue blooders. So you can't say that it wasn't people. All of life, throughout all of time, it has been conquest. That's just fact. That's just human nature to want to take what someone else has. You want something better, so you're wanting to take it. It hasn't changed. It's still the same way. Still the same way.
Claim this stolen land as their own. Anything that comes from a white man is either stolen from someone else, or he just translated some Vedic text from ancient Asia. And you don't have to go very far in.
Yeah, pretty much. Or they discover it years later, and since they're the white man that says it and writes it down, they are known for being the first to do it.
History. You can just check Christian yoga on the internet. These guys initially marketed yoga as yoga, but since yoga was not Christian and it also did not follow their demonic culture, so majority of Christians rejected yoga, but still they wanted all the benefits of yoga. So what these whites are doing is they are rebranding yoga asanas into some weird English names. This way, after 5-10 years, they would have rebranded all yoga asanas and they will patent it as well. And at the end, they'll say that this whatever exercise they are naming it is for connecting with Jesus. Like, I know that Jesus did one famous pose till the end of his life, but it doesn't mean that you're going to give him credit for a teaching that predates him by thousands of years.
Yeah, people are always weird. People are like, it reminds me, like, I remember going to school and Harry Potter came out and people were talking about how that was the story of Satan. Yeah. That was the story of Satan. People would get pissed if you brought, like, it was a Valentine's Day, and going to school in the US, they sell like cards that you can give to everyone in class. And if you gave someone a Harry Potter card, they'd pull you to the side and give you a speech on how it's about Satan. It was so stupid. And yeah, at a young age, I realized how moronic some adults are. How moronic, because I resaw some of those adults as when I was an adult, and it's just like, these people still are the same. Still think they were right for keeping a kid from trying to enjoy kid things. It's absolutely stupid. But the thing is, you find extremists in every every culture. Every culture. India isn't great in that respect. Every culture does the exact same thing. It's just stupid. It's absolutely stupid. It's best just to call it stupid, not to try and be, Christians. No, it's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. I've never understood it. I have absolutely never understood it, but whatever.
While we have Jesus and rebranding as the same topic right now, these white guys have rebranded Jesus as well. Jesus being able.
I'm an agnostic, but I don't agree with Christians when they say that everything not theirs is satanic. Yeah, it's something that's absolutely stupid. It is absolutely stupid. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Instead, like that's why that's why Catholicism became took on and changed their gods into the saints. So like Peter and Paul and all those ended up becoming saints because the Roman gods, the Romans would refuse to pray because they needed to pray for their crop growth. They needed to pray for all this. So at the time when they were transitioning, they just transitioned their gods into saints. It's just fact. That's absolute fact. I mean, yeah. But it's insane. So you can pray to those saints if you want specific help. But yeah, I've always found it incredibly insane. Like, yes, you can say something looks demonic or evil. Like even me, like the story in Hinduism where the lady rips off heads and drinks blood, or she just there are characters who are look absolutely demonic, or like the 10 heads of Ravan. Yeah, it's just looks crazy, looks evil, but that doesn't change the fact that it's a part of a story. I mean, it looks insane. But that's the thing. I'm looking at it from the outside.
Build Middle Eastern brown man, they have picturized him as Keanu Reeves. Anything remotely interesting these whites find, they try to claim it as their own. I'll give you one more example. The word Aryan is an ancient Indian word. These whites wanted to claim this word so bad that they came up with a fake Aryan invasion theory to link themselves with the Aryans that once ruled this land. And not just this, one Christian took this fantasy so far that he caused World War II. And these whites are so good at covering their shit that the Nazi symbol, which was heavily inspired by Christian cross and Gamadian, rebranded the Nazi symbol as swastika. And I sometimes wonder.
I think it was just a translation mishap or something. Someone had known what a swastika was and was just like, you know what, let's just call it this.
Whenever they take any Hindi or Sanskrit word, why do they add an extra A in its name? Now I get it. They add an extra A for being an asshole. Anyways, what else was there? Let me check. Yeah, some of my subscribers shared me 2 Indian fatigue videos. From the small video, I think I have covered most of the points that were mentioned there. Other points were not that important or were just rage bait, so I just ignored them. The second video, however, is very long and actually very dumb, and it made me wonder whether he's like intentionally saying that shit or he's actually stupid. So I checked a little about that creator, and I found out that this creator, even though he's American, he's a Muslim from Middle Eastern descent. And that guy's talking about women's safety. What an irony, right? Or maybe that's a sarcasm, because a Muslim from Middle Eastern descent talking about women's safety is equivalent to Hitler talking about the safety of Jews. This guy's relatives from Middle East are turning Europe upside down, kidnapping.
Oof, that's a little harsh. That's a little hidden below the belt. Robin looks evil because he is, bro. Yes, but that doesn't change the fact. Like, what is the goddess's name? Kali? Yeah, she looks evil. The freaking long tongue, the burning red skin, I think it's 10 arms, right? I don't know, but it's just insane.
Girls from the streets, killing whites, and even raping minors. It's because of you guys that white girls have to keep pigs as pets so that Muslim immigrants do not rape them. Your brothers are running grooming gangs and...
Or dogs. You could have dogs around too. The dogs aren't allowed.
UK, while you are distracting everyone by making fun of Indians. Anyways, these are your brothers in a busy street of Japan.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Japan. See, this doesn't happen in Muslim nations. This doesn't happen in Muslim nations. And it also doesn't happen in Florida because by law, if you get in people's way, they have the right to just push you out of their way. Like if they were doing this in the street in Florida, you would see someone, primarily a white man, let's be honest. They would use their bike to drive down this alleyway just to hit as many of these hateful people as possible. Sure, the white man is also hateful, but at the same time, who's clearing the path for more people? The hateful white man over the hateful Muslims who are just trying to, oh, it's my faith. Yeah. because it is a saying that you come to look like someone whom you fight. Oh, okay. Well, that's still creepy. Still creepy.
Also, it's not mandatory for you to drink camel urine daily, so you should stop it now, cause it's making you dumb and dumber. I think this much will do for this guy in this video, but if you want me to cover his entire 1-hour propaganda video, you'll have to give me $50 million in super thanks. Yes, actually no, I can do it for free, don't worry. But since we are talking about Middle Eastern descent people, what I've noticed is, these guys go to European countries and destroy everything. This makes the white guys very angry. But the problem is, they can't fight these guys, because these guys are professional murderers. So what does a white guy do in this situation? Attack the immigrant that is the least violent, aka the Indian. These guys do not fight back, and after they get beaten up, these guys are not the type of guy.
That's not what happens. So I think like people from who escaped Iran like years ago, they realized long ago the first target of like extremism is the left, because when you start belittling, like I don't know how people can do it, where they think so little of people that they think they're helping them. Like, I have a cousin who believes that black people need white people's aid because she's white and has white privilege, that everything was given to her, not the fact that she's more susceptible for a random person to come in and convince her to do something absolutely idiotic. Absolutely idiotic. That normally the first to turn, which is why you don't see the left talking about Iran, why you don't see the left talking disgracing the fraud in Minnesota by the Somalis. They're like, oh no, the people are just being racist. No. Why are you lumping all Somalis in together? The people who are doing fraud should not be here. They're absolutely heinous people. They should be gone. But no, they try to make it a race thing. So normally the left is targeted because the left is an easy target. And then they work their way in and then bring up extremism because it's like Islamophobia or whatever. And then that's basically it.
Guys that will gather a massive crowd and block the road or cause some kind of riot. No, these guys will just quietly go to their home and move on with their life. And that's why you see repeated attacks on Indians, because that's what whites do. Their men are attacking small kids in their countries, and their women are spreading their culture in India. Oh shit, it's a bot.
Oh my gosh, that is disgusting. That is disgusting. Like, if he was from Canada, it makes sense because they have been making a racket in Canada. But well, Scottish? Really?
Anyway, so what should Indians do in this situation? If Indians actually don't want anyone to hate them, what they have to do is give Kashmir to Pakistan, Arunachal Pradesh to China. Instead of supporting Israel, they should start supporting Palestine, stop buying oil and weapons from Russia, and start buying it from America or China. And at last, remove Narendra Modi from the position of Prime Minister. But I know you won't agree to it, so just stand straight.
Yeah. The left hates Modi. They absolutely hate him because it's bringing progress to India. That is just how it is. They hate him because as India gets more progressive and becomes more of a first world, it's going to become more of a problem for them, because as it gets further and further and further and growing and growing and growing, the left, who claims like the dictatorships, which are the future, the China, the Iran, the Venezuela, Cuba, all these other issues, which they're all for. They're all for these huge problems. It proves them wrong. It absolutely proves them wrong, which is why they're not a huge fan of Modi.
And fight back like a true Aryan, not the fucking white one, the real Aryan, Indian Aryan. And if you're one of those delusional minds that think the hate is because of the civic sense thing, then you need to wake up as quick as possible, because this thing has gone way beyond just criticism. And if you can't stand for yourself, then please don't try to stop others from standing up, because Indians have started fighting back and it's gonna get brutal. Since we have reached the end of this video, I will have to say that this video is a complete joke and I don't hate anyone, which is actually true. I'm just trying to defend my country, nothing personal. And that's it for today, guys. I've seen many people, when they create videos on India, they add some fake news, some fake articles to the video that aligns with their own agenda. So I've done that too in this video, that you have to point out. And if you point it out, I'll give you a like, and that's it. No money for this shit. And one more thing, that if you like this video, you can check out my other video which is similar to this video. And we'll see you in next video. Till then, keep playing, keep smiling. SandMan out.
Yeah. The fact that he always just makes rage bait content, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. The word left with liberal is oxymoron. Well, yeah, because I used them both. But yeah. I mean, it's so stupid. It's so stupid for people who want to be, for people who speak of open-mindedness. It's very weird to hear them talk about how it's my way or that just my way. Only my way is accepted. It's absolutely disgusting to hear that kind of crap. But whatever.
You guys got a video? So bad.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wait, where's that?